social hall. First come, first served. So if you want some nice little house succulents and to go take a peek. Don't look, there comes some more. So, all right, now I'm going to turn it over to Marcia, the woman who's trying to hide behind the piano, but we're not letting her. Our beautiful Marcia is going to open us with a wonderful song.
Why are there so many songs about rainbows? It's what's on the other side. Rainbows are visions and only illusions. Rainbows have nothing. So we've been told, and some choose to believe it. I know they're wrong, wait and see. Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection. The lovers, the dreamers, and me. Said that every wish would be heard and answered, wished on the morning star. Somebody thought of it and someone believed it. Look what it's done so far. What's so amazing that keeps the stargazing? And what do we think we might see? Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection. The lovers, the dreamers, and me. All of us under its spell. We know that it's probably magic. Have you been half asleep? And have you heard voices? I've heard them calling my name. Is this the sweet sound they call the young sailors? Voice might be one and the same. I've heard it too many times to ignore it. It's something that I'm supposed to be. Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection. The lovers, the dreamers, and me. La da 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 da, la di da da di da da, di da da di da da, la 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 la.
Well, see, close my eyes. And more people popped up. You didn't magic. Welcome back, a couple more Marshnovers. Greg and Marcia. Nice to see you. And, well, I think you know, I'm Reverend Gail Dobert, and I think I know everybody in here. And you know that unity is a practical, positive, and such a loving community. Unity of Bay City welcomes you every single time. On Sunday morning, and in our prayers all week long. All week long. I want to take a moment to thank our Sunday service team, our platform assistant this morning, and our technical support this morning is brought to you by Jack, behind the flag over here, and Julie in the booth. Our ushers are Tammy and Mike. Do you know your guys are ushering today? And our secretaries, it's such a lovely community. You know, we kind of, we make a schedule, but we don't, like, here. So thanks for all of your flexibility, for everyone stepping up. Our greeters this morning are Laura and Tammy. Tammy's in everywhere this morning. I mean, she's like, okay. So, yeah, thank you for all for being here. I'm sorry, I'm a little distracted. I have got a lot of just wonderful things in my heart and my mind, and to share with all of you. So let us pray. Thou is centered. Take a nice deep breath. As we begin, as we are celebrating and honoring the country of Mexico this month, may earth angels of peace call upon heavenly angels to unite, embrace, and encircle the globe with light. Together may we affirm angelic presences flourish on earth. And we know that is so, as Nancy lights the candle for our country, the citizens, the people of Mexico, their borders that border us here in the United States. They are people, fully human, fully divine, just. We also pray for our children of this world as they wake up to new challenges and new fears, as they don't hide under their desks because of possible bombing, they hide under their desks for other reasons that are just as terrifying. So we pray with those little hearts and minds that they can stay open and know that they are the future right now. And we support them. We support those little hearts and minds, that they grow in truth and in courage. Within the boundless universal good we may call God, we also affirm right here and right now that together we can, and together we will. We can and we will, for we must. We now use the gift of our lives to make this a better world, for the sake of our children and theirs, for the sake of those struggling in poverty, for the sake of the lonely, and the sake of our brothers and sisters in the natural world of animals, the plants, and the trees. As we rise to the challenge, we, as individuals, expressions of the one, can inspire and help those around you. Find the courage to play your part. Find your reasons to use your heart wisdom. And let that precious energy guide you onward. Together we can. Together we will. And so it is. Amen. Amen. Now, Gina will grace us with her presence and for the annual payment and daily work.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's been a while. I'm Gina Juego, and I've been Zooming for over a year now, so some of you might know I've been here. Thanks. So, I'm really grateful to be here today with all of you. Our annual theme is Passport to Transformation, our annual journey. And for the month of May, our intention is to shine the light on the country of Mexico and the evolution of women. Our daily word for today is comfort. And our affirmation is, the love of my heart is my comfort. Will you repeat that with me?
The
Love in my heart is my comfort. The love in my heart is my comfort. If the sadness of loss diminishes my joy as I think of happy experiences with the loved ones who are no longer with me, I remember that the love we share will bind us together always. Love can never die. Love, the most beautiful attribute of God, is present always and everywhere. I am comforted as my heart opens to the divine love within me, knowing that this same love enfolds all of those I hold dear, no matter where they are on their eternal journey of life. Peace and strength grow in my awareness as I open myself to love's expression. I bless everyone who comes to mind today with a loving thought. I speak a loving word or perform a simple act of kindness whenever I can. As I bring comfort to others, I am comforted also. And from Psalms, let your steadfast love become my comfort, according to your promise to your servant. And our affirmation again, the love in my heart is my comfort.
Now it's our time of meditation, and Nancy will sing us in to this time of meditation with a song that's so appropriate. Let it be. When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. And in my hour of darkness, she is standing right in front of me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. 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 Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. When all the broken-hearted people living in the world agree, there will be an answer, let it be. Although they may be parted, there is still a chance that they will see. There will be an answer, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, and let it be. There will be an answer, let it be. Let it be. Take a nice breath. Let it be. There's so many gifts right now in our lives, so many celebrations this time of year. Memorial Day, that we celebrate our freedom as we mourn our soldiers, all of those, and all the support people in the military services who have given their lives so that we can have this one right here, right now. So we open our hearts to this love so great that we can let it be. We can be the observer of your thoughts right now. What's going through your mind? What is in your heart? So let the thoughts scroll by and move into your heart space, the center of your being of love and wisdom. Love and wisdom. Breathe. Let your body relax, which really helps our mind relax. We find a coherence, a rhythm that's gentle and kind to us. We were built to be able to soothe our own self. And you quiet the critical voices inside and outside you. And decide to take them seriously, but not personally. May you remember that you don't always know the answers, as that keeps you closed off to curiosity. And know that you're not fully grown, as that gives you nowhere to go. That you won't always be right, as that is something of which literally no one is capable. And may you breathe into the powerful truth of who you are right now. Someone who is always learning from and teaching yourself at the same time. And may you be humble enough to stay confident in your ability to do both. So as you quiet those critical voices and allow them to be heard, don't take it personally. Watch, listen, be curious. Allow your heart and mind to move into that beautiful rhythm of coherence as we quietly and deeply contemplate these words or whatever comes up in your heart on this Memorial Day in the silence. Breathing in and breathing out. As we allow our body to stay relaxed, and our mind to stay calm, we take another nice deep breath. Breathe it in and let it be. We let it be. And we know that Spirit is always there, loving us, guiding us as much as we allow it to, as much as we can allow. So we open our hearts and our curious, wondrous minds for safeness. And so it is. And when the night is cloudy, there is still a light that shines on me. Shine until tomorrow, let it be. Wake up to the sound of music. Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom. Let it be. 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 Whisper words of wisdom. Let it be. 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 There will be an answer. Let it be. Her spirit drawn, and so was born 10,000 years ago. Between the swan and her feet, where even dark clouds flow. To live with grace, to rise well, to yet be strong in will, to love the wind, to learn its song, and empty space to fill. Apollo taught her to run, Orpheus taught her to play, Andromeda cast down the sun, and they light her way. So great is in a galaxy, an endless flight through time. I gave her heart to me, and left me free to fly. A winter's journey from the moon to reach the summer sun, to rise again, to sing for you a song that's yet unsung. Apollo taught me to run, Orpheus taught me to play, Andromeda cast down the sun, and made the light my way. Let's see, Marcia, piano playing, Nancy, beautiful song, beautifully done. Wasn't that just so whimsical? Did it just bring you back into your imagination and in your wonderment of life? Spirit. That's the name of the song, Spirit. And what movie is that from?
No, it's just a John.
It's just a John Denver song. John Denver. Yeah. So anyone can love peace. We all love peace. But Jesus didn't say, blessed are the peace lovers. He said, peacemakers. He is referring to a life vocation, not a hobby on the sidelines of life. That's a quote from Jim Wallace. Now today's message, we've been doing the Who's Your Mama all month. From the mother of unity, Myrtle Fillmore, to the mother of Buddha, the mother of Gandhi, and the wife, some of them too, and your own mothers, to get to look and see who your mama was, whether you knew her in growing up or not, whoever nurtured you through your life, who you thought she was. I think as children, even as adults, we just kind of go, this is what my mom did. She always baked cookies on you, those kinds of things. So we've gone through all that, and so today is who's Jesus' mama? And I think we can all answer that. There wasn't any question that Mary was Jesus' mother, and that it was an immaculate conception. There's a lot of controversy around that still to this day. But I'm going to go a little far afield. I'm going to talk just for a moment about that. And then I must go into some wise women's thoughts, and that echoed my feelings so deeply that I wanted to share with all of you about the tragedies that have been happening in our world over these last couple of months, especially last week. And we need to talk about it. And we need to pray deeply. But Jesus' mother taught him about peace at every phase of his life. She taught it more than that. She didn't just teach it, she practiced it. She showed him peace. With all the ups and downs, as she supported and nurtured his ministry, the ministry of her son, from his birth through his childhood, and she carried his message after he left this earthly plane. Now, talk about a tough gig as a mother, the chosen one, precocious as he was. He went off to the temple one day when they brought him for the Passover, and they thought he was with friends, and they'd go walk back home to Nazareth. And they walked around for days to try to find him. And you probably remember this from Matthew. He said, why are you looking for me? I'm about my Father's business. And they're like, okay, you little twerp, you're coming home with us. Because that's basically what they said. It's like, you put us through a lot, and you're going home with us. And he dutifully went home, and he continued his growth, and they nurtured it, but they put some boundaries around it. We have to do that as parents, don't we? We have to show them our wisdom, and that we've been there and done this, and help them, but they're still going to make their own choices. That's the hardest part of parenting of all. They're still going to go down some path that they never even imagined that they go. And our parents probably felt the same thing about us. I know my mother was none too happy when I took her only grandchild and moved from Ohio to Alaska. Why can't you just move to Indiana? She said. Mom, I need to go. Jesus needed to go. So this is not a political talk today. So we keep Mary in our hearts and her wisdom and all these women that we've talked about, including your own beautiful selves. Whether you're a physical mother you've nurtured and your heart, and all the men as well. Mothers and fathers, brothers and sisters, we are one. So today the subject that's weighing on our minds and hearts these days, and I know there's more than one, but it seems the most prevalent, are the shootings. Again, this is not a political talk about the NRA or gun control. This is about love in action as we're led to take as individuals and spiritual community. Now these actions may be different for all of us, and yet the result can be a peaceful world that works for all. Together we can, and together we will. Now I borrowed those words and some of the words from the first prayer that I did pray this morning, from the Book of Hope by Jane Goodall. Are you familiar with this wonderful woman? In her 90s, she wrote this book during the pandemic about hope. She has brought our animal world into our lives in such beautiful ways. A wise, wise woman. And she said in front of like 10,000, 15,000 people, talking about ecology, talking about our natural world and all of these things. And she said, together we can, and together we will. And she said, have them all stand up and say that together. How powerful that is. Can you think that for a minute? Together we can, together we will. And I usually don't like to do call and response, but can we do that together? I think we need to feel that energy right now. Together we can, together we will. Together we can, and together we will. What are we going to do? That's the question, isn't it? Together we can and do what? So I kind of got a mixed tape. Y'all remember what a mixtape is? Yeah. That thing we all do. Of quotes that I felt really aligned with me with this whole situation this week. They're essays, really, of two inspirational women like Jesus' mom, like Gandhi's mom, and all the others we talked about. So the first one is by our wonderful Marianne Williamson. She's kind of the mother of the Course in Miracles movement, really, and most community churches have, including us, have a Course in Miracles group. And she puts out a newsletter every week that I am grateful that I get. And she does a morning meditation. You can get a link to all of this, and if you'd like it. I took out the political parts because, you know, she had wanted to be the president of these United States at one time, and boy, did we want. Before that, she tried to have Washington create a peace room. You know, we've got the war room, they go into the war room, talk about all these terrible things. Are we going to do war? She said, what about peace room? What about if we come in together? So this is what she said. The end of every age is redolent with difficulties, and this definitely is the end of an age. We will either be getting exceedingly better or exceedingly worse. There are only two choices. Those are it. And it says in A Course in Miracles, it's not up to us whether we learn, but only whether we learn through joy or learn through pain. We're going to start putting love before money. We, the people, must step in now. The arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice. Love will prevail because it always does. And to me, is the spiritual meaning of this moment. The question isn't, how long, God, how long? The question is, how long will people? These are difficult times, but we ourselves can and must make the difference. Every time we take any action, private or public, that lacks compassion or mercy, we are perpetuating madness. In the words of John F. Kennedy, Here on earth, God's work must surely be our own. I love that one. It must surely be our own. Because we know and we practice and we teach that God is an energy. God isn't going to pick you and you and you and you. God is saying yes to our choices. This next essay of Love in Action is by Valerie Kaur. She is a Sikh civil rights activist, lawyer, filmmaker, innovator, founder of the Revolutionary Love Project. She grew up the daughter of a Sikh farmer in California. Her book, See No Stranger, is an inspiring call to action. And it tells her story of being a brown girl, Indian, in California, not a tan girl, a woman, a girl of Indian descent, and all the things that, all the prejudices and problems she had outside of her Sikh community. In her newsletter this week, she said, I'll take a breath. Oh, my loves, what does it feel like in your body? For me, like a primal scream that won't stop. When the death toll in Uvalde climbed to 19 children, I knew I had to wash the tears from my face and go down and hug my babies and get them to bed. I wondered, is the heart big enough to hold this? All this grief, all this rage, all the joy in their faces. And my ancestors said, oh my, yes, yes, the heart, that is the heart we gave you. That is the heart they gave us all. Our hearts are big enough. And she says, if you can't function, that's okay. If you can't feel, that's okay. If you can't find your breath, it's okay. Your breathlessness is not a sign of your weakness. It's a sign of your bravery. It means that you're awake to what's happening right now. That the violence in our country is getting worse, the hate violence and the gun violence, and that is the only way we will survive this. The only way to change this is together. And she says, so we begin with a breath. Have you heard that before? She says, let it come. Hold for 4 counts. And let it go. Let's do that one more time. Let it come, let the breath come. Hold it for 4 counts. And let it go. And Valerie continues. Here's why I believe we can change this. 10 years ago, I worked on the ground in Oak Creek, Wisconsin, in response to the horrific white supremacist shooting at the Sikh Guardia. It was the largest massacre of Sikhs on this soil. I remember looking into the open caskets of people who looked like my family and feeling like I was going to fall. Then the doors of the gym opened and people started to flood in for the memorial. Thousands of people. They didn't even know us, but they showed up to grieve with us. You don't have to know people in order to grieve with them. You grieve with them in order to know them. And because they grieved with us, many stayed to organize with us. And together we changed the federal hate crimes policy within a year. Love in action. After months in Oak Creek, my husband and I boarded a plane home to Connecticut. I was relieved to go home and ready for rest. But as soon as this plane touched the ground, my phone blew up with the news. A shooting at Sandy Hook Elementary School. We didn't go home. We went straight to a church in Newtown Creek with people we did not know. I had left the site of one mass shooting only to come home to murder. In one massacre, the gunman hated us. In the next, the gunman hated himself. Both men had cut themselves off from humanity, others and their own. This week, the same pattern. The news of Uvalde broke an hour before I was about to speak at an event about solidarity in the wake of Buffalo. Once again, we were hurled from the site of one mass shooting to another. The gunmen in these shootings weren't even born when many of us began this work. What do we do when violence is generational and firearms are making killing more efficient? She says this, and we know this. We know this. We need to build a beloved community where we are. We do this. That's what Unity of the City is for. We need a shift in culture and consciousness, block by block, heart by heart, and I believe we can make every school, every house, every workplace, every community a place where we leave no one outside our circle of care, where we help one another be brave and hope. We can become the medicine that stops violence at its root. We can do this by putting love into practice. I think we can pray. So one of those practices, she says, is to grieve. What is the shape of your grief in your body, of the grief in your body? Do you feel the primal scream in you? Is this the time to make a space? This is the time to make a space for healing. Let yourself touch the sorrow, rest, and grieve. Don't isolate. Show up to a healing circle at your school with parents and teachers. Organize one if needed. Go to vigils. Be with people who make you feel safe. Let in softness and love into the places that ache. Make space to just stop and feel this together. One of my favorite sayings is, you learn from hard knocks, you learn from soft touches. That's what she's saying here. Let in softness and love into the places that ache. Make space to just stop and feel this together. She talks about rage. What is the force of rage in your body? We get to move that energy. We get to shake and scream and dance and run and have drum circles. Don't choke it down or let it fester. Be with people who can honor the rage and process it in safe containers. Your rage carries information. What is it telling you? You have to fight for something. And I usually take that word fight and say you have to love for something. You have to love for something. You have a role to play. There's no role that's too small. We pray, then we act. We have our program of the Secret Service called Love in Action. What courageous step are you ready to take? Do not swallow the lie that nothing can be done. You have a sphere of influence. Every choice we make, every word, every action, every encounter co-creates culture and shapes what happens next. Will you use your voice, your art, your story, your money, your power, your heart to be a peacemaker, not a peace lover? We don't let peace, like we do. We let it, but we also make it right here, right now, right here in this heart. Reimagine. What does the world want? What is the world you want? What does a beloved community look like and feel like? Unless we can look around here and see that and feel that. And invite people into it. We can only live into what we imagine. Protect time and space to dream and dream big, then take a step forward in that dream. How will you breathe today? This is the work of a lifetime, our lifetime. Take time to rest. Just step away from the news. Please step away from the news. Nourish your body and your beloveds. Remember the wisdom of the midwife. Breathe, my love, and push. When joy comes, let it come. In joy, we prepare the world to come. We prepare our hearts to open to this greater community. And it's not just about the events out in the world. You know, it's the events of our personal lives as well. The joy, because, you know, this Memorial Day, it's not like, oh, we're going to go on a picnic. It's about those who died for our country. So it's kind of a mixed bag. It's beautiful weather. There's birthdays, there's graduations, there's proms, there's weddings, there's everything happening. Babies are born, and yet we mourn our fallen soldiers, men and women, in every aspect. Imagine one day we look back on this era in our nation's history with regret that it took so long to save the lives of our children, and relief that we are the ones who finally put an end. I believe that world peace is possible. Believe with me. Choose one thing now, then hush. Even in darkness, ever rising spirits. Even in darkness, our spirits are ever rising. What is ours to do as a spiritual community? What is ours to do? Unity is more than just a passing acquaintance with our neighbors, a temporary agreement among parties, or a superficial feeling of community. It's a feeling of harmony that can run deeper and last longer, that broadens our life in all directions. That's what unity is. That's what the unity movement is. That's what the term unity means. And so our daily cue is to, when you see the sight of people from different races and countries on the street or on television, is my cue to practice unity. That means drop our judgments, doesn't it? Yes. They come up so automatically. And our reminder is listening to all the voices in the choir blending together. I'm reminding them of the glory of unity, like our Unity University choir. And a vow is when I collaborate on a project with my colleagues, my friends, my community, I devote all my God-given talents to the service of unity within that collaboration. And I'm blessing. Blessed is the weaver of the universe who rejoices in the unity of all peoples. Isn't that lovely? Blessed is the weaver of the universe who rejoices in the unity of all peoples. We are those weavers, folks. This unity movement, this unity spiritual center, we are those weavers. And we just stay awake and aware to all that's in our heart and cry and rage and laugh and rejoice. And I know it's our human walk. I want to close with a pledge of allegiance in a new way, of course. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the unity of all the world, and to the community for which it stands, one people, loved into existence by God, breathing an indivisible air, warmed by a sun that shines on good and bad alike, kept alive by rain that falls on the just and the unjust. I commit myself to spend my life for this world, for liberty and justice for all. Amen. That was by Mary, Evelyn, and Jacob. And in the words of Jane Goodall, together we can, together we will. And so it is. Amen.
Will our ushers please come forward? This is the time of our service to share our financial gifts and tithes for this ministry. There are several ways that you can contribute to your community. You can drop your offering in the bag. You also can mail us a check, use your PayPal or website, or you can choose to set up a monthly contribution to your financial institution. Please join me in stating the affirmation for our offering. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am enough. I have enough. There is enough.
You know, it's so important for us to not only think affirming words, but say them and even sing them. You know this song, sing along, we'll first do light, love, and then light again.
Let's have it.
We are walking as the light, as the light, as the light. We are walking as the light of God. As the light, as the light, as the light, as the light. We are walking as the light of God. Love. We are walking as the love, as the love, as the love. We are walking as the love of God. As the love, as the love, as the love, as the love. We are walking as the love of God. We are walking as the light, as the light, as the light. We are walking as the light of God. As the light, as the light, as the light, as the light. We are walking as the light of God. Amen. Yeah, but it's okay. It works either way.
We can walk and jump in the light as we give thanks so for these love offerings. The energy behind these tithes and love offerings is what moves it forward, what moves Unity of a City forward as we move humanity. We are grateful. Unity happening. You might have to get the gap to get us off. On Saturday, June the 4th, that's this coming Saturday, Mary Ann Jordan is facilitating a therapeutic touch workshop. It's from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Is that right? And she invites you to bring a sack lunch, because that's kind of wild. Probably gonna want something. More information and a sign-up sheet is available in the social hall. Please leave your phone number when you sign up. Mary Ann will be in touch if you have questions.
Awesome. Then on Sunday the 5th, from 12 to 3, Seeking God Alone Together is a class with Reverend Gail and our licensed student teacher, Nancy Vasco. And there is more information and a sign-up sheet in the social hall.
Yeah, this is just a one afternoon event that we might carry on, we might do a follow-up. It's a beautiful workshop, so we hope you're going to be there with us. On June the 10th, see, we're rocking and rolling in June, I'm saying. On June the 11th, we're going to have a pet blessing. You can bring your pet or a photo of your pet. And it'll be on our back patio area from 11 to noon. And the rain date is the following Saturday. It's Saturday, June 11th at 11. That's easy.
And then during the week of the 12th, following that Sunday service, they're going to be adding another layer of seal coat to the back patio area. So on Sunday the 12th, if you have a couple of minutes after service, we can clear the items off that patio, prepare for that seal coat. Many hands will make light work.
Yeah. And John Peterson is working hard behind the scenes to get the seal coat guy and this and that. So all he asks is we just get everything off there next week. We have a save the date. Speaking of the patio, June 26th is a patio dedication. It'll be all seal coated and all nice and fresh. We've got new tables back there. We've got gardens that have been planted. Our raised beds, if you haven't seen them, go back out there and look to see 5 raised beds that Tammy and Jerry have been working at. There's been a little team of us kind of getting all this together. And so you can adopt one of them if you like. But just go see them. And then on the 26th, we're going to kind of dedicate this whole area and have a nice party. We'll have, John has a band, I think, is coming out on the patio. So it'll be fun. All right, let's pray us out into this beautiful, beautiful day. Together.
The light of God surrounds me. The love of God enfolds me. The power of God protects me. The presence of God watches over me. The mind of God guides me. The life of God flows through me. The laws of God direct me. The power of God abides within me. The joy of God lifts me. The strength of God renews me. The beauty of God inspires me. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well.
And as our YO viewers used to say, all is swell. All right, we're going to do these songs. Let's sing it up. You can hold hands if you want, or you can just, stand there and sing. Let there be peace on earth, and let it be with me. Let
be peace.
The peace that was meant to be with God as Creator, family on me. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the long down with
Praise God.
let this be my joyous vow. To take
Take each moment each moment is at peace. Let it begin with
Amen. How is right? Okay. Check out the gardens and see what's growing out there. And if you know where to get any pumpkin plants, let us know, because we got a patch that's ready to be. We don't have any plants. We can't.
Anybody would like to want to keep that really
Oh,
Hi, number 60. I'm in 6.
Yeah, yeah.